very easy for for anybody to just pretend to be whoever they want to be online. So, and your con artists will use the internet, certainly all the dating sites, to find victims. So obviously be on the lookout. I would always recommend, if you're talking with somebody and they're cagey about their past, if they're proclaiming all these grandiose achievements, if anything in their story doesn't stack up, really look out for these warning signs. And because those are signs that you could be dealing with somebody who's not quite what they...
Right. Be wary, Eric. Be very wary.
Yes, be wary. One has to be smart anyway, but considering that you might fall into the trap of a sociopath, be extra smart.
Right. I completely agree. Eric, are you still with us? Okay. Yeah. I thought we lost you for a second. Eric is calling in right now from Orlando, Florida. But and you also specialize in OCD. Tell us what exactly is OCD?
So OCD is it basically involves intrusive thoughts, which the person is unable to get out of their heads. These thoughts, they nag them. The thoughts are frequently accompanied by intense anxiety, so it's not just a thought like a song in your head, but it's a really urgent thought that is accompanied by anxiety and fear. Then you have the compulsions, which are behaviors or rituals that are normally done to alleviate the anxiety that's caused by the obsessive thoughts. And so the compulsions are carried out repeatedly, so whether it's checking or cleaning or counting, the sufferer is actually very compelled to keep doing these behaviors. So OCD is characterized as an anxiety disorder.
Awesome. And now OCD, are people able to recognize that they have it, or is it kind of like with a sociopath? Obviously, they're not connected, but is it hard for them to accept that?
They do. The people with OCD really do. They know that what they're going through is not what everyone else goes through, which is why a lot of people with OCD suffer in silence, and they're very embarrassed because they know that it's not normal, and they find it very difficult to talk about, and it is very isolating for them actually, because to just sort of, when you try to describe your symptoms to somebody else, it just sounds so pedestrian. It doesn't sound, the pain that's really associated with the OCD is so hard to describe. So if you just say, I can't stop counting to 10, it doesn't do justice to the actual true agony and that it is causing the person. So yeah.
Does someone become, or can someone become OCD if they've had a very hard life, if they've never felt like they've measured up to anything good, and they've had horrible relationships and they've been downgraded all their life? Do you think that would create that in someone?
I think there's an element of people have. You have to start off with a tendency towards having OCD. Some people, it doesn't matter how good their lives are, they'll just have OCD because they were born that way. It's a biological disorder of the brain. Some people might be fine with a tendency, so when something traumatic happens to them, then the OCD will suddenly manifest itself. But I think then you have obviously most people out there who will have traumatic experiences and they won't get OCD, they'll get something else.
Right. Okay. Now, and we are with Annabelle Charpet. The call-in number is 818-495-6928. Annabelle, and like I said, I'm definitely going to pass your message along to some producers I know, and I'm sure they'll be in touch, and they'd love to hear your story and read your book. I think it's fabulous. I think I read, I believe I read this on your website. It could have been somewhere else, but it said that someone with OCD can read a book, and I don't have this in front of me, so I know I'm gonna get this wrong. Can read a book, and they'll keep have to go back to their chapters. Is that, I mean, to the same page they were reading before. And I was hoping to get this exactly right. Let's see.
Yeah, you pretty much got it right. Basically, the thoughts, the obsessive thoughts are distracting them and they're nagging them. So they can read a sentence over and over again and they won't be able to take it in. Or they could be having a conversation with someone. Someone could be talking to them and they're unable to take in what's being said simply because they cannot focus. While they're in a heightened state of OCD, they can't focus on what's in front of them because the thought is just constantly nagging them. It's louder than life.
Right.
So nothing else can get through.
Now, what do you think the difference is between that, between not being able to read a book and someone having attention deficit disorder and, they can't concentrate and things like that?
Well, basically, with OCD, it's the inability to concentrate is caused by the obsessive thoughts. So actually, the person with OCD is very focused on the thoughts that's nagging them. So they can really concentrate on that, but they can't concentrate on anything else. I think with ADHD, it's a much more generalized inability to focus on something, but it's not because another thought is there. And I think that's the big difference.
Okay. And the top 5 celebrities with OCD: Howard Stern, Jessica Alba, Megan Fox, Cameron Diaz, Leonardo DiCaprio. And I was very surprised to hear about Jessica Alba. And I believe there was another one, Billy Bob Thornton. Is that right?
Yes, that's right.
I mean, some of these are like, really? Wow. And Jessica Alba, I mean, absolutely beautiful. But you would never have guessed it in some of these people. Now, and these are people that just really admitted to it, that didn't have a problem with it, I guess. Because I know celebrities, they try to keep so much of their private life private.
Yes, but it actually seems to be almost a trend now. A lot of celebrities are coming out and saying that they have OCD, which is wonderful for the OCD community, actually, because it makes them realize that, first of all, it brings OCD out into the open, so suddenly everybody knows what OCD is and what it means, whereas not that many years ago, OCD was a dirty little secret. So it's actually the celebrities are doing us a wonderful favor by saying, no, I have OCD.
I see. So what can these people do that have OCD? What can they do? They're listening to this show. What can they do to help themselves, to get better in their life and do what they need to do to function?
Well, normally there are 2 options, which is there's currently the medication, which is actually quite successful with a lot of people, which is the SSRI medications, which act on serotonin. They have had quite a lot of success at treating OCD. And for those who perhaps prefer to stay away from medication, there's cognitive behavioral therapy, which is hard work. So obviously medication is a sort of quicker option. The cognitive behavioral therapy, again, it works for some people, it doesn't work for others. It depends on the individual. Going for medication doesn't mean that you're weaker or anything, because it's what you're suffering from is a biological disorder of the brain. So if you had a disorder in any other part of your body and you needed medication, you take it. Well, the brain is an organ. So a lot of people still feel that there's a stigma about medication, but there really isn't actually anymore. But some people want to do both. They do the med and cognitive behavioral therapy. Some people take one or the other.
Right. And I was at work today, and I was thinking about this. I was at work today, and I was thinking about this interview tonight. Sorry, I had my mic on mute for just a second. I thought I was just talking to myself. But I was thinking about this coming interview at work, and I get picked on all the time at work about this, but hand sanitizer. And I use hand sanitizer like it's going out of style. And I'm not talking about, and everybody, it's probably like, well, that's good, you're keeping the germs off you. No, it's different. I will use hand sanitizer all day long. I'll put it in my hands 2 minutes later, I'll do it again. Another 2 minutes later, I'll do it again, and they have to take it away from me, so I'll stop.
Well, that could be a little mild bit of OCD. What happens if you didn't have hand sanitizer that day? Well, how would you feel?
Kind of clammy, kind of balling up my fist and, just keeping it there, you know what I mean? And I don't really know how to explain it. It's kind of a weird feeling, sort of.
Could be. It could be. It could also just be a habit you develop. So again, with OCD, it really depends on. I mean, there are levels of OCD. Some people have very mild. Some people have very, bad disruptive OCD. And again, it's a question of how much is the OCD disrupting your life, which is basically what determines whether the patient gets treatment.
And I think that's the only thing that I have. Well, I think it is, but I tell you, cleaning is definitely not one of them. But but I think the hand sanitizer is definitely one of them. And I just, like I said, I just drive my coworkers crazy with it, and sometimes it's funny. Sometimes I enjoy it, but you got to have some laughter at work, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So tell us, what are you working on now? Are you working on another novel?
Yes, I am actually. I'm doing a little bit of research into the personality disorders. So because I'm keen now to write a novel about somebody suffering one of those. I'm still trying to decide which personality disorder, so I won't give too much away, but they are all fascinating. So yeah, that's my next novel. It's going to involve personality disorders.
Okay. And do you have a name for it yet?
Oh, no. not even close. the name always comes last. This one, too, the name was the last thing that came to me.
Really? I would love to have you back on the show again when that does come out. Again, your name of your book is A Life Lived Ridiculously. See, there's the name again. If you go to thedrewshow.com, everyone, you can click on the contest tab. That will be updated this evening, and we will be giving away a signed copy of this book by Dr. Annabelle Charbit. Dr. Annabelle, it is such a pleasure having you on the show. Real quick before I let you go, how can people find you? Your website? Do you have Twitter as well?
So I have Twitter. The website is ridiculouslife.net. The book is now available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. The ebook version will actually come out on April 12th, but the print version is already up for sale. So, and then, yes, you can always follow me on Twitter at AnnabelleRC. But you'll find all that information in the website. That's
Annabelle RC?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to follow you right after this. By the way, my Twitter name is @DrewBTR. So,
perfect.
Yeah. I look forward to hearing from you. Dr. Annabelle Charbit, it is, like I said, it's such a pleasure having you on. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you very much for having me on the show.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye. All right, that is Dr. Annabelle Charbit from London. She specializes in OCD and sociopaths as well. Eric?
Yeah.
Hey, Eric, I want to thank you so much for joining us tonight. Did you enjoy the show?
Yeah, Drew, I did. I think I was, I went back inside the restaurant and I was listening, and I think I heard you say something. You were mentioning my name about the online dating thing.
Right. Yeah, I thought that would get.
You read my post about what happened to me on Friday, this last Friday afternoon, with the girl that the woman. She has a couple of kids, and she proceeded after the little lunch to go and do some shopping, and kind of dragged me along.
I did not hear about this, but you got to tell me. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to ask Annabelle, but whatever. She said, be careful with the online dating, and basically, we had lunch, and we're in a fancy mall, and she's like, I love shopping, and she starts going into these fancy stores, Macy's, Hollenbeck's, or what is that one with the music real loud, and the guy's got his shirt off in there, and Hollister.